By the way, Freddie Freeman is the first player in MLB history to hit a walk-off grand slam in a World Series game. Let's back up for a second here, Doug. Just for the drama and suspense and beauty of that game, just tell me what it was that we were trying to watch here, but we're at a sports center. What did you think?
I mean, it was really back-to-back. I mean, you think about whether it's two boxers going at it, they're equal. Now you have these titans, and not only is just titans that they were great teams this season, but they have these storied histories, whether it's Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth, Sandy Koufax, and of course you know the rivalry with the coast to coast. So you have everything, and then all the stars that are there, right? Stanton, Judge, Soto, Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, and everything it lived up to, because it still came down to a lot of the little things, getting the runner over, laying down a bunt. You still have to play the small ball, and within it, you have these stars that can just do something like Freddie Freeman. So you had everything you could feel in the game, back and forth, who's going to win, you don't know, clutch performers, and all of a sudden the definitive sort of this game is now over, because Freddie Freeman has arrived.
Yeah, we don't get the walk-off grand slam by Freddie Freeman if Mookie Betts doesn't get walked. I mean, what do you think about that decision?
I mean, that's what I also love about the chess match with these managers, because it is truly pick your poison. Like, okay, you want to walk Ohtani to get the Betts, or you want to walk Betts to get the Free. Good luck. That's MVP to MVP to MVP. One of those guys are going to show up. Do you walk Soto to get the Judge? I mean, so you're just playing with fire the whole time, and that's what's so fun about it, because it's not one of those decisions like this is clear and everybody looks at it and says, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You're making a decision that literally could blow up in your face 10 seconds later, and you're just hoping for someone to rise to the moment and make the play. And in this case, it was
in a month and a half, and then the first time he comes in, there's guys on base and he's facing Ohtani. It's a tough spot.
It's a tough spot, and look, Booney's job is to get his guys in the best position to win, and I hear him when he says, he's been pitching simulated games, he's been doing this or that. Nothing can replicate the heat and the violence and the intensity of October baseball. Hill's been nothing short of phenomenal, 3 for 13. He is your hot hand. And I'm not sure if he was hurt or not, but unless he was hurt, you got to go with your hot hand there.
Yeah, well, first, two things. One, let's give it to Nestor Cortez for a minute. I mean, he did that interview, a couple days ago, and he said he's fine missing all of next year if he comes out and gets a chance to pitch in the World Series. So this is a guy that wants to be there. Now, on the other hand, no one knows their team better than Aaron Boone does. It's easy for us to sit here and say they should bring in somebody else. Obviously, hindsight is 2020. But it is a tough situation to come into when you have not been pitching for 5 weeks. Coming into a World Series, pressure-packed situation, facing Ohtani, facing Freddie, that is tough, but you just got to give it to. That's why the manager makes the decisions. That's why they're the manager of the team.
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I'll tell you what. The criticism comes because of the result.
Yep.
Right? Okay. But at the same time, you are fighting for make those left-handed batters swing uncomfortable. And that's why I refer myself to the angle. The heels throwing from sidearm, based on my experience, is making a bat more uncomfortable than a lefty that throw either three-quarter or over the top. And that's the situation right here. You want to make them have an uncomfortable at bat.
100%.
And that's why I go to the sidearmer, especially in that situation.
And Cap, I hear what you're saying, but we're not Monday morning quarterback. I was sitting with Poppy, and he thought Hill was the right guy
100%.
Before he came in.
I agreed with it.
And I said, well, tell me why, Poppy, because he's lefty, and he told me how uncomfortable he is. Look, Buck Showalter once told me, he goes, the barometer, whether you want to take a pitcher in or out, including Garrett Cole after 88 pitches, is that opposing dugout happy or are they sad? And when Garrett Cole left, they were happy. When they brought in Cortez, they were happy because it was a comfortable at bat. Cortez has got big
100%.
guts, but that's a comfortable at bat.
And let's not forget, Hill is a left-hander specialist. He is ready to come towards the end of the game to get left-handed batter out. Cortez is a starter. He's going to act like a starter in the mound. That's my problem using a starter coming out of the bullpen and using bullpen guys starting the game. It's a whole totally different subject.
Agree. I just think there has to be something else that went into that decision that we don't know about. That's what I think.
There usually is, but I'm trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I I have no idea.
Do you know, Kevin?
I'm sure we're going to find out about it. Somebody's going to ask.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, here, just retracing the inning, before we got there, you know, obviously the Yankees burned through their guys, right? And you guys all wanted Cole to stay in the game for a little while longer. And as a result, they had to get through their top guys. And then in the 10th, you have Jake Cousins, who's got one career save in his life, and he walks Gavin Lux, who's been ice cold. And then Edman, who was the MVP of the NLCS. No one will ever talk about it tomorrow with all the drama. But he's the one that gets the base hit to kind of make that situation the way it was, where they had to go get somebody to face Ohtani.
Derek said it before the game. Garrett Cole, when he's healthy, and he is healthy, he's the best pitcher in the game. 88 pitches. He just got through Murder's Row, 3 MVPs. A guy gets on, let him pitch. Even if they tie the game 2-2, you reserve that bullpen, which is already depleted and short, as we saw late in the game. The ripple effect of taking Garrett Cole out is you got to go through your main relievers, and then you get into Cousins, and it's not his fault, and it's not also Cortez's fault.
Yeah, look, I know we talk about this all the time, and I don't want to be one of these guys that say back in the day when we played. But we were talking about when we were playing the Mets in 2000, Al Leiter pitched Game 6. He threw 140-something pitches. 140-something pitches. Garrett Cole was dominating this game. He was dominating the game.
Yeah.
And if you take him out after 88 pitches for I don't know what reason, it's a domino effect on not only this game tonight, tomorrow's game, and the rest of the series. So I just think when you have someone that's dealing like Garrett Cole was dealing tonight, you leave him out there as long as you can.
What did Garrett Cole come to New York for? He came to New York to finish 7 innings.
Pitch.
And there's nothing that showed that he was getting weaker. As a matter of fact, he was getting stronger. Let him pitch. If you're going to lose with your best. Lose with Jordan, LeBron, Cole. That's who Cole is. You're not going to see Aaron Judge tomorrow because he's struggling. He's the very best. Go with your best, Poppy.
I tell you what, and I absolutely agree with the two of you. There's not tomorrow in the World Series. You got to win today so you can show tomorrow happy and carry the momentum. I mean, Carragher pitched like a Cy Young Award winner tonight. We talk about it. He was dealing with his breaking ball. He was racing his fastball. He was locating his cutter everywhere. I mean, 88 pitches in that situation. You got to kill me with him.
Poppy, are we off tomorrow? I'm so confused.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's, I mean, the Yankees, look, it's just one of those games. It was really a great game. I think if you're looking for a positive for the Yanks tonight, Derek, it's that this is a team that had no speed in the season. They were dead last in stolen bases, and they went and got Jazz Chisholm, your guy, you said is going to have a lot of opportunities. He put him ahead by himself in the 10th inning by getting on and stealing a couple bases. That's a good sign for them going forward with what he can do. He stole 3 bases tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're playing in a series like this, World Series, you're going to have to find different ways to manufacture runs. Speed has not been at the top of the Yankees list all season long. Traded for Jazz, all of a sudden he's adding the speed element to the team, and you know, he changed that inning and actually could have been the hero of the game, right? If everything else didn't go down how it did, but. He's a problem when he gets on the bases. I said before the game, he's going to have a lot of opportunities. Once again, I don't know why they pitched to Stanton. I really don't. But he hit another big home run. But I think Jazz is going to find himself in situations where he can impact the game, not only on the bases, but he's going to be able to impact the game from the batter's box.
Absolutely. And I believe this. I mean, this is just the first game. I know a lot of guys, a lot of batters, not only Judge, were a little bit out of timing because of the day off. I would say that straight up. But this is the type of game that as a player, when you go back to your hotel and you go back home, you start looking at the situation that you face and you start doing that recognition and trying to memorize those moments so the next day you come with a fresh mind and try to execute it. And I'm expecting that from the Yankees lineup.
You know, Kevin, we talked about the Yankees playing clean baseball. This is varsity against varsity. They were able to play sloppy baseball against Cleveland and against Kansas City, and they got away with it. To me, one of the most underrated plays in the game that had tremendous ramifications was Ohtani's double in the 8th inning with 1 out. That's all it should have been. Instead, you know, Gleyber Torres kind of misplays that ball a little bit, and it causes, and here it is. He has 300 feet to look at this ball. His feet are planted, cemented in the ground. With 300 feet, you can go up and get that ball and get it in the air, or back up quickly and play the long hop. There is no reason for this type of lackadaisical play. Goes to third base, and that ends up being the tying run, and the rest is history. If you're the Yankees, you got to play clean baseball. And tonight, they fell short of that again.
Yeah, it's a huge play. Probably doesn't get a lot of attention because all the drama that went on late. But that's a big moment in the game, man. Like you say, Ohtani's at second base. Mookie's fly ball's out number 2. You don't know what's going to happen. So you can't make those mistakes and give extra outs and let runners advance when you're playing against a team like the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah. And you're 5 outs away from being 1-0, right? So every out counts. 90 feet is at a premium. You can get away with that in June and July. Not in October, not against the LA Dodgers.
Not enough.
Yeah, what a night at Dodger Stadium. I mean, I'm out of breath, and I just watched the game. Freddie Freeman, the walk-off grand slam in the 10th. You can't get any more drama than that. And the emotion at home plate as the Dodgers come back and win Game 1 and sets us up for Game 2 on Saturday night. It'll be Carlos Rodon, the left-hander. He's been good these postseason for the Yanks. Pitched great his last time out. Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers. Gave him all that money. His best start came at Yankee Stadium early in the year. And look at this shot of...
Sound like you know Japanese.
I do not. Most of... Did you see the interview with Ohtani? It was not a single lick of Japanese for me in that one. Here is what you got. Come on back to Dodger Stadium. Welcome back. Good to see you. So we told you about the pitching matchup. It's interesting. Yamamoto's best start was against the Yankees in June. He was awesome at Yankee Stadium. Yanks, they need Rodon tomorrow now. There's no doubt about it, especially if you're using all their leverage guys tonight in the bullpen tonight.
Look, the winner of Game 1 in the World Series wins 63% of the series. Rondon is pitching the biggest game of his career. Here's as you kind of think forward. You have to win Game 2 tomorrow. You cannot go back to Yankee Stadium 0-2. And then you got to win 2 over there because you can't come down here and try to win 2 here. So tomorrow, forget tomorrow, maybe
That's
tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell you what, the Rodon that I saw his last outing, it was the Rodon that they need tomorrow. I mean, his body language his composure was very good. He keep it tight. He was locating his pitch. He was using his fastball at his best, but with a good location. He need to bring that against this Dodgers lineup tomorrow so he can keep them quiet. Otherwise, you know what can happen?
Yeah, he has to pitch a good game. I mean, goes without saying. But he has to pitch a game. He has to pitch deep into the game because of the fact that they used their bullpen earlier than what we thought they should. So I expect him to come out. You know, he's been throwing the ball well, right? But he's going to have to spot his fastball. You know, he's going to have to pitch ahead. This Dodger team is feeling really good about themselves.
Gee, you bring up a good point, too, because, you know, if you kept Cohen there a little bit longer, 5 innings would have been enough. 5 innings is not enough for Rondon tomorrow. He has to pitch 6, maybe 7, because now the bullpen, here we go again.
Tell you one thing, it's tough to get tickets to these World Series games, and they are not cheap, right? If we take a look at the ticket prices around the market, it's going to cost you some bucks, right? Here's what you got. Game 2 ticket price. Dugout Club down here, you get the nice buffet. It'll cost you $10,000 a ticket. Very cheap. You know, Upper Deck, $1,000.
Are you kidding me?
No. People going to be calling you for tickets, Poppy?
Hey, here's the deal, people. One more time, do not call me for tickets. Look at the graphic. Amigos, no me llamen para tickets en español, okay?
Can you do it in Japanese?
No me llamen para tickets. Arigato.
That's mainly because the Yankees aren't giving you any tickets.
No me llamen. You're right. You're right. Hey, man, you think I can get 2 tickets tomorrow?
I got plenty.
I know you do.
World Series, are you kidding me? David Sampson, Bobby Valentine, and 2013 World Series champ Will Middlebrooks, Will in the wall. David, I'm going to go to you first. Holy smokes, your reaction is what?
What is Nestor doing on the mound? We're talking here. We're watching the game. When he's added to the roster, I'm expecting him to be there for length and as a backup plan, but they actually went to him, and guess what happened, Bobby and Will? It was game over. Nestor Cortez, first time pitching in a month in the 10th inning. They deserve it with the way they played.
Well, David, he was well rested, and he only threw 2 pitches. So
2 pitches. He got Ohtani out.
And a 4 for intentional walk. You know, what are you going to do?
You got Ohtani out on 1 pitch.
Tired. They didn't overuse him.
Oh my goodness. That David was bonkers. That was bonkers. Was that not bonkers?
Absolutely insane. I mean, this absolutely is what we wanted in game one. It's what we want for 7 games. But when you have two teams that are this evenly matched, it comes down to pure execution, and that's not just players. What David just said, it comes down to managers too, because why is Nestor Cortez in that game at all? I thought he was warming up to come in if the game got tied to cover a couple innings in extras. That should have been Tim Hill on the mound facing those lefties. He's had success in the postseason. Nestor hasn't pitched in over a month, and you put him in that spot.
Bobby, what are we doing? Why not go to Tim Hill there?
Well, all I can tell you is that Will learned to second-guess managers like that when he played for me in Boston, and he's good. He's exactly right. That's all I can tell you. But I thought it was Hill's spot in the game. There had to be a lot of 5-day meetings where they saw Nestor throwing in the bullpen, and the guns were on him, and all the nonsense was there, and they said, he's ready, and he'll be ready for Ohtani. So don't worry about it, because he's got big game guts. All that stuff went right down the drain, too. But he's rested for tomorrow if they need him.
I mean, that is incredible that they went to Nestor Cortez. We talked about how he said he would trade an injury for a ring. Well, he just gave up a grand slam, the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history. Bobby, we're going to second guess not only Aaron Boone for the decision there, but also you talked about this pregame, the defense. Think about all the mistakes that were made in this game. Soto misplays a ball in right field that allows Kike Hernandez to get to third. They take the lead on a sac fly. You talk about the defense where there's a throw coming in from the outfield. Gleyber Torres off his glove. Nobody's backing it up, and they tie it at 2.
You know what was cool about that? Ohtani was actually doing his team dance and realized the ball got away and still went to third. He had his game awareness going while he was celebrating with his teammates. I thought that was neat, and I think that was a bad route by Soto right there. There were plays that should have been made that weren't, and it could have been the difference of the game. Right here, where this throw comes in, David, and one hops Torres, boom.
But Rizzo needs to be there.
Well, he should be walking behind. So let's see. He
should be trailing the runner, and he wasn't. And it's frustrating.
Yeah, maybe the pitcher.
You got to be in the right position there. And
I don't think the first baseman gets that ball.
Will, he's got to be there. Will, you as an infielder, you know that's his ball to be there.
100%. And, we talk about, David, we talked about this yesterday. The little things might not win you games, but they can lose you games. And in that situation, there's a lot to unpack. It's a short hop. You know there's not a play behind you as an infielder. You don't try to just glove swipe, pick that, square it up, take it off the chest. There's no play at second base. But then Anthony Rizzo, he's a veteran player. He knows this. Once that runner is going to second base, you're out of the play. The pitcher's towards third base in case of a triple. And it's your job to trail that base runner for exactly that, for the ricochet, for the ball that clanks off the glove, for some reason trickles away, and there's someone there in that dead area between the mound and second base. That's on Anthony Rizzo right there. Yes, Torres should have caught that ball, but Rizzo's got to be there.
Will, I'm going right back to you. As a former player, how do the Yankees pick themselves up after this? I mean, a walk-off grand slam? Like, you can sit here and say, we're going to flush it. We could have gotten beat 12-2. That's a demoralizing way to lose a game.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and you got to wake up and do it again at Dodger Stadium when it's a really tough place to play. You just got to hope your superstars step up and go off tomorrow. What's really tough is you lose a Garrett Cole outing. As evenly matched as this World Series is, Garrett Cole was the one advantage it felt like the Yankees had, even though he wasn't himself. Today he was, and that was that advantage, and they couldn't get the win in that start. So you're putting the ball in Carlos Rodon's hand, and it's a coin flip with him. He could pitch like an ace, or he could give up 4 in the first couple innings. You don't really know which Carlos Rodon you're going to get.
I think we knew that the bullpens were going to play a huge factor in this game, and we haven't mentioned Jack Flaherty or Garrett Cole, who both provided great starts for the Dodgers and Yankees respectively. But when it came down to it, and that's what this series is going to be, a battle of bullpens at the end of the day. And if the Yankees continue to play sloppy and make mistakes, the Dodgers are going to take advantage. So in order for the Yankees to prevail, or the Dodgers, frankly, they have to be crisp, and you have to have the better bullpen effort. And it's clear what happened today. The Yankees did not get the better bullpen effort.
Yeah, well, neither team's bullpen did what they had to do. You know, Trinan gave up stolen bases and base hits. Weaver came in, gave up the sac fly on third, where he could have gotten a strikeout to keep that run from scoring. Yeah, so this is all even on bullpens doing nothing, and defense and base running wasn't on par for either team either. Edmonds falling down around second base, you know, the plays that we already cited. So, yes, stealing bases at hand, you know, easily. Josh Chisholm had 2 hits, 3 stolen bases. He's on his way to a pretty good series.
He is. You're right. But he's going to need the Yankees to win the whole thing and come back. Because Freddie Freeman, I know.
On a losing team, you can't get an MVP, right?
I mean, it's happened before.
According to Bobby, it's over.
Look, Will, I told you that there was 4 World Series that went 9 games. Let's just make this a 9-game World Series.
Oh, well,
I mean, this has been incredible already. Game 1.
And this has already lived up to the hype and through one, which, I mean, we've beaten a dead horse with this. We talked about it over and over again, how good this is for baseball. Have this many superstars and future Hall of Famers between the white lines going at. This is baseball at its absolute best right now. So, Hakeem, however many games we can talk the players union into letting them play, let's do it.
What does it say about Freddie Freeman? The injury at the end of the regular season, sprains his right ankle. He gets a week off here before Game 1 of the World Series. But to be in that spot and do what he did, and I know he's a veteran and a former MVP and a World Series champion, but what does that say about him being back in the lineup, being available, and
set into that joint and get better? The 5 days was huge because, I mean, he hit a triple also early in the game. I know that feels like it was a week ago because we have so much to unpack through the extra inning ball game we just watched, but look, this lineup's a gauntlet, right? You have Shohei in the 2-hole and then or leading off, and then you have another MVP, Mookie Betts. Oh, and by the way, there's a third one waiting just in case you get to him, and it's just like you've got to run out of gas as a pitching staff looking at these guys.
Yeah, Freeman into third on the Verdugo mistake there, and again, Verdugo made a heck of a catch on the Ohtani play, but at the end of the day, it is Freddie Freeman who plays the role of hero in Game 1, the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history. Wow, that is incredible. Game 2, here we go. Carlos